Go Nats. Go now, go Nats, go now. We're checking out the sound. You know what we do every morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday morning, and we get on the air, and we make sure that the sound is good. What's the point of doing a 1 hour podcast if there's no sound? So don't you think, for those of you who have been teasing us, don't you think it's a good idea to make sure we have sound?
Yes.
So I think what do you think? Would
Wait, were you even asking me?
Yeah, would you rather just look at each other and just,
gaze into each other?
Just look at each other.
Do we gaze or do
we gaze?
Do we give each other mean mug?
No, we gaze, okay?
You gaze.
And as I'm gazing, looking at the chat room, nice looking crowd.
Laura's here.
Laura SM King Turd.
Eddie Heckman,
Boston Paul.
James Caprileon. They must be playing 2 games today in Brewers.
I'll tell you what, Big Al was here very early this morning. All right.
Big Al was so nice
we
to me.
need a sound check.
I'm checking, Leonard. I don't have it yet.
All right. Anybody have the sound?
I'm doing the sound check.
You're doing the sound check?
And Eddie does too, but
Eddie does the sound check. Come on, sound check.
We're doing it. It's just not there yet. So the more you say it,
right.
Okay, it's there.
There you go.
The sound is good.
Sound is good. I hear the sound of music. I hear Big Al on the prowl. Well, let's start the show. I'm trying to, okay? You got Boston Paul. You got Chris from Cambridge. You got Daniel Ferrara, Eddie Heckman, James Caprion. You got
Laura.
Laura is here. You got SM King Turd, Rotorius, and a cast of thousands.
And Mal Palantina, our visiting family.
The sound is good. Guess Raven says the sound is good. So good morning to everybody. And let's get right to it. Isn't it great to be the fan of the Oakland Athletics? I mean, you talk about front runner. Anybody, Eddie, if you tell me that you're an Oakland fan, I'm going to call you the biggest front runner in history.
What, are you going to call me a fair weather fan?
A fair weather fan, yeah? All right.
Actually, it's nice to see that the Athletics have won 4 straight games and all on the road. You know, they had an 11-game losing streak on the road. I think. They're 9-11 this season in ball games decided by 1 run. They're 7-39 in other games, but still, they were. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but
what numbers? I have all the numbers. They're the first team in history to have a sub 200 winning percentage in at least 50 games into the season, and then win 4 straight. But here's the thing: do you know?
I did. I just said they were all on the road.
All on the road. Okay.
And what I didn't have in front of me was the fact that they had like a 10 or 15 or 20 game losing streak on the road before they did this.
Yep.
So
well, they just won.
There's hope.
Season high 4 games on the road. They beat the Brewers 2-1 in 10 innings. It's tied for the 3rd longest active winning streak in Major League Baseball. Then here's the real thing.
Wait, 4 wins in a row.
Wait, Eddie Caprio's here. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Eddie Caprio. I said Eddie Caprio and Malpal are here.
Okay,
Go.
and Tina. So, I was questioning this stat that we just said, which is that the Oakland A's have won 4 games in a row, and it's tied for the 3rd longest active winning streak in MLB. So there's no other team. There's only 2 other teams that have won more than 4 in a row.
And you know, they came off their 11-game losing streak, and they won the series against Atlanta and now Milwaukee. They are 7-4 now.
Since their 11 games.
Since then.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Will you be rooting for Oakland? I think it would be one of the most exciting things. Oakland has been criticized more than any team that I can recall. I mean, teams lose, but Oakland's been criticized for not spending money, for not buying players, for trading their good players. It's enough to root for Oakland to make the playoffs and shut everybody up.
They won't shut up. They'll find somebody else to criticize. The thing is, I always kind of root for the underdog anyway. I really do wonder what's going to happen in Vegas. Everybody just is like out there talking about how this new home in Vegas is actually happening, but the legislature says, no way, we're going to spend this money. The public has to vote on it, and it's like $380 million of taxpayer money that has to go to fund this team. And I mean, you would have to think that they would say to these this team that there has to be some kind of contract where they have to commit to spending a minimum amount on their players. We're not going to spend $400 million for you to come to Las Vegas and have a $60 million team,
Well, they have to win. If they don't win...
They can't win if they don't spend money.
They will be accused of being nothing more than just a tourist attraction.
Who's going to go there? I'm sure
people go to Las Vegas.
Yes.
If you go to Las Vegas
to gamble
from a town that you don't have a baseball team, look, let's go to the baseball game. We've never been to one. I mean, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
So is it a tourist attraction, or is it for the people who live in Oakland, who live in Las Vegas, to really have a team to root for? I believe it's a tourist thing, but I don't know. And a lot of it hasn't been talked about. Okay?
Kendall Graveman made a
But wait a second. The Athletics, 9-11 this season, ball games decided by one run. They are 7-39 in other games, and they're 9-11 in games decided by one run. Okay. Mm-hmm. What are you saying about Kendall Graveman?
He just made his 16th straight scoreless outing. He's only allowed 3 hits in that span. Wow. Hitters are 3 for 50 against him.
Kendall Graveman. We wondered at the beginning of the year.
A White Sox pitcher.
Yeah, we wondered, though, if Kendall Graveman was going to be any good, if he was going to be the closer. As it turns out,
it looks like he's not the closer anymore.
Who's the closer?
Liam Hendriks.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Speaking of Hendricks.
Yes.
You know what? I've always been kind of fond of Kyle Hendricks. I got him in our NL only, dude,
really?
in the last round. And he was a total risk to take. I'm not implying that anybody should be drafting Kyle Hendricks high, but these are the types of guys. It was great to see him back. He went 7 2/3 innings. It's the longest, and no hits, by the way, and it made the longest no-hit start by any pitcher this season.
Unbelievable. By the way, let's say hello to Post. 1950, what year were you in now? 1958. The Mal Palace here. James Caprion. Great to see everybody. Kendricks, 7 2/3, no hitter. I've always liked him, but I didn't think he'd be anything for fantasy baseball this year. Also, 4 hit games in Major League Baseball yesterday. Corey Seager, J.P. Crawford, 4 RBI games were Corey Seager and Carlos Correa. So did you notice, since becoming official in 1920, it's the only time there were multiple 4-hit games and multiple 4 RBI games on any given day, with all of them being the shortstop.
Did that come from Sarah Langs?
I have no idea.
I bet it did. You can tell.
You can't tell.
Because most people can't dig this deep to find this stuff.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff out there, and I dig to find it. But I'll tell you, it was only a short time ago that second base and shortstop were not really fantasy positions, right? They were just marginal positions, and now you got some big players at shortstop. But that's how the game has changed in the last couple of years.
Esteury Ruiz. I finally learned how to say his name, Leonard.
Esteury Ruiz. Yeah, he got
Esteury.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can. He stole his 30th base of the season on June 9th. Now he has 31.
Yeah, he got one last night, I think.
Now he has 31.
So, I'll ask you a question. The bases are now 4.5 inches. Bigger.
That's a lot.
Oh, cut it out.
So,
all right.
There's also an...
Is that the reason that he has 31 stolen bases at this point in time?
Clearly, he runs really fast.
Give me a break.
He's a speedster.
He's a speedster.
But he's on pace for 70.
Okay.
So when was the last time a runner even stole 70?
Well, Ricky Henderson.
Are we just
did
going
it.
to act like it didn't
No, but
doesn't
he
have
would-
anything to do with the bases being bigger?
No, it has nothing to do with the bases being bigger.
I disagree
It
with
has all to do with all the other stuff. You can only throw over there twice.
Fine.
You got the pitch clock. You got so many other things. As a matter of fact, I watched a video of his 31st stolen base.
He runs fast as hell.
Terrific. So he runs to second. The ball gets by the second baseman, and it goes into the outfield, and then he heads over to third. Was that because the base was bigger? No. The base being bigger I'll bet it has not had any effect on any.
Why are there more stolen bases this year then?
It has to do with everything else. You can only throw over twice.
You know that no
That's the
pitcher has
reason.
ever, so far since that rule about picking off runners has been in play, not one pitcher has had to not throw a runner out. It hasn't happened. It's very rare that a pitcher even tries to throw out a runner more than twice at
I don't
first
care.
base.
I don't think
Fine, you can have
the
your
bigger
opinion. I have
bases
mine.
have no effect on stolen bases.
All right.
None.
What does the chat room
I
think?
have not.
Let's
Yeah,
ask
what
the
does the chat room
'cause you're
think?
a dead end.
Anybody in the chat room think Ed Caprio? How you doing, kid? Ed Caprio. Does anybody in the chat room
Hi,
believe
Tommy Johnson.
that Tommy Johnson says that the increase in stolen bases has anything to do with the bigger base? Anything to do with the bigger base? Come on. Have you seen any play that was rebroadcast and you can see that the tag, there's the tag, and you can see that it had to do with a bigger base? I haven't seen anything.
Just that there's so many more stolen bases. That's the only real.
But it has
I mean-
nothing to do with the bigger base, in my
grief.
opinion.
Okay.
All right. we got-
Bobby Miller. We got to talk about
Wait
Bobby
a second.
Miller. If
Daniel Ferrara is here.
Yes,
Is
and-
White Sox Al here?
no, he comes on the weekdays.
Okay, White Sox Al.
But
It's been 30
Daniel.
innings
Daniel got a new puppy.
since the White Sox offense scored more than one run in any given inning. 30 innings. So let's name Daniel's puppy for him, all right?
I
What
don't
do you
know
wanna
his
name?
name yet.
Well, we're going to give him it. I said let's name him.
Let's
You
name
say
him
you-
Leonard or Legend. We should name the puppy Legend.
Name the puppy Legend after me, okay?
Yes. So
All right.
Bobo is here. He's waiting for the bus, so he's ready to get some info, and I have some info on Bobby Miller.
Yes.
Bobby Miller, this youngster for the is he the Dodgers?
Zelmo is here, by the way. Good morning.
He's the first pitcher ever to throw at least 5 innings, give up fewer than 5 hits, and allow 1 run or fewer in 4 straight starts to begin his career. Zelmo, hello, and Tony.
Yeah, and Tony. All right. Well, you know what? Shohei Ohtani started the game last night as a pitcher. Or was it the other night? Don't know what.
Yeah,
night
it was 2 nights ago. We talked about this yesterday,
and
Leonard.
He ended up 1 hit shy of the cycle for the 3rd time.
Let me guess, a triple?
That's I don't know what he failed
One
to
hit,
get.
1 hit shy of a cycle is
No
always a
one
triple.
had previously done that in modern Major League history. The last pitcher to have a game where he fell 1 short of the cycle twice in the season was Don Newcomb in 1955. Okay?
The broadcast crew on Fox yesterday noted that Yankees pitcher Domingo Germán never looks over at first when runners are on and he's pitching. That's from Tommy Johnson in the chat room. Now,
Oh, okay.
Domingo Germán has gone. Well, there's a tidbit in here about him, but I know it by heart, so I'm going to tell it to
Go
you.
ahead.
Domingo Germán has gone 62 starts without throwing more than 100 pitches.
Yes, that's right.
And I thought to myself, this guy must not get deep into games if he never throws over 100 pitches. But actually, in reality, he just doesn't take that many pitches to get through innings. He threw 6 plus innings yesterday,
6
and he
hits,
still
1 earned run. Had a good game.
yeah,
5
he still has
strikeouts.
good games, but he's gone 62nd consecutive starts of less than 100 pitches. It's the longest streak of starts in the pitching era, whatever, that's since 1900.
86 pitches, 54 strikes.
In 6 innings. That's great
That
efficiency there.
Absolutely not. Now, you talk about the Yankees. The big thing with the Yankees is this, in my opinion. All of a sudden, Willie Calhoun is playing great ball for the Yankees. Who would have told you in the spring that he would be batting third for the Yankees?
What about batting leadoff? He was batting leadoff the 2 days before.
Who would have told you that Jake Bauers has done a phenomenal job filling in for the Yankees?
Okay, I have to disagree with this idea that Jake Bauers has done a phenomenal
He has,
job.
defensively.
Okay, defensively. But he's been batting .211 with no home runs, no stolen bases, no RBIs. It's not anything offensively that he's doing for the Yankees.
Okay.
Perhaps that's the only thing that it could be.
I'll give you that. All right.
Okay.
Now let's talk about something that you don't want to talk about.
I know.
Francisco
Please,
Alvarez.
Big Al is here. I feel horrible for this.
Francisco Alvarez, his 12th home run in 43 games. Only Travis d'Arnaud hit more as a Met rookie catcher, and he was 4 years older.
Okay, plug your ears, Big Al.
And he needed more than twice as many games to do it. What, you got something to say about Alvarez?
Just that I feel bad because I still agree with this.
I see.
I told Big Al not to drop Tyler Stevenson for Francisco Alvarez.
Yes,
and
I would do that even right now.
You would drop Tyler Stevenson for Alvarez?
Somehow you got to figure out how not to drop him.
Yeah, there had to be another guy to drop.
There's got to be somebody else to drop, because
Stevenson is a good hitter,
drop
right?
him. You got to trade him. I could see that happening, but no, I would think.
Anyway, the question was, should I drop Stevenson to pick up Alvarez?
Okay.
And now I'm eating crow.
From this point on, I would say that Alvarez is going to drop off. Same way Mitchell Harston could drop off.
Hello,
Good
Mitchell.
Morning.
Good morning
to Mitchell Harston.
Boston Paul mentions Jason Dominguez, who's crushing the ball just like he's a power. You know what he is? He's Joey Meneses.
Well, look, the Yankees and the Mets are both floundering. They both have a tremendous array of talent coming, ready to come up and play. I know that Steve Cohen and the Yankees, everybody says that we're not doing anything. It's a little early. You'll see. The Yankees and the Mets are both going to bring up all of their prospects who have to be playing now. It's getting close to that time.
I'm giving the Padres a lot of credit today.
Why?
Because they deserve it. They've won 2 in a row. And Macho Man is back.
All right,
I know we're going to talk about the Padres later, but I
but
feel
let's
like they
just
deserve
finish on Alvarez.
Okay.
He has the most home runs in the first 45 games by a catcher at age 21 or younger. I mean, he's got what Johnny Bench had 11.
Yeah, but he still has 2 more games. The next 2 games count towards this total, so he could actually. He already beat Johnny Bench, and he's got the most now, so he actually is breaking records, Alvarez.
Yeah, but I think that the Mets, it's only a matter of time, small amount of time, before they have a big shakeup, bringing up all their young guys, including Mauricio and Viento, all these guys. They were 54-3 since 2022 when they scored 7 or more runs until May 27th. Since then, they're 0-4 when scoring at least 7 runs. They lost 10-7. They lost 11-10 to the Rockies, 13-10 to Atlanta, 14-7 to Pittsburgh. It's time for the Mets to shake it up, baby.
What show were you listening to last night?
I don't know.
Well, whatever it was, Power Alley or...
Oh, what show do I go to sleep with?
Whatever you were listening to last night when you went to bed. They were talking... I think that Steve Phillips is on that show.
No, it was Jim Bowden, Dan Duquette, and I forget.
Anyway, they were talking about the Mets, and one of them was saying that they didn't see any path forward from the Mets this year. I totally disagree. Give me a break. They have too much talent on this team to count them out completely for now. But they were talking about trading, making trades, bringing up prospects, and just saying, forget the season. Let's start trading some of these people we spent too much money on. But how can you trade players when they're not even living up to their contract at all? It's like, what are you going to do? Trade Verlander for however much money he made? Like a couple $100 million? Nobody's going to take Verlander for that. Nobody's going to take Scherzer. Nobody's going to take Alonso Hurt. I mean, you really can't. You're in no position to trade.
No, they're not going to trade. They're going to bring up their youngsters.
Talk about Bobby Miller again.
Just like the Dodgers are bringing up Bobby Miller, the ninth pitcher, to allow 2 runs in his first 4 career starts. I mean, come on, man. 0.78 in his first 4 starts, the 9th best in Major League Baseball since 1960. He's the second Dodger pitcher since Kenta Maeda to allow 1 run or less in each of his first 4 career appearances. So there you go.
So the Dodgers are going without a designated closer, and the person that wrote this, they say that they've been very poor. Their bullpen has performed as poorly as they can remember. And Dave Roberts says that he doesn't think that the two are related, the fact that they don't have a designated closer. But, so, what does the chat room think? Do you think that because the Dodgers have not designated a specific closer to get the job done, is that why they're flailing? And by the way, they're not flailing that bad. They have 15 saves and 3 blown saves total on the season. Right. So, I mean, Evan Phillips has 7 saves, a 2.66 ERA. His whip is less than 1. Brusdar Graterol's ERA is barely 2. And Shelby Miller, he's got a 2.57 ERA, but that guy walks a bunch of batters and allows home runs. There's only been 3 blown saves and 15 saves. So, let's say 18 opportunities, 15 saves. Why are they saying that the Dodgers closer situation is so bad?
Well, because they don't have they like a bona fide, I mean, the Dodgers.
Who does? The sports media vultures?
With Jansen, they had.
I know, they had Jansen for a long time, yeah. But would Jansen, I guess Jansen would probably not have 3 blown saves.
But they're being carried.
By Evan Phillips.
Being carried by the J.D. Martinez.
Yes, for hitting, right.
Is 31 for 105. That's 295.
Yeah.
Since May 12th, they returned from the injury list. He's got 8 doubles, 12 home runs, 32 RBIs in 26 games. Mookie Betts, 5 for 13, 6 RBIs, with 2 outs and a runner on second. That's how the Dodgers are winning.
Well, Betts, did you mention Betts? He's crushing it.
He is.
Julio Rodriguez, the Mariners youngster.
Yep.
Second fastest player to reach 40 career home runs. It was 193 games in Mariners history. Guess who reached 40 career home runs quicker than Julio Rodriguez for the Mariners? That's the genius of the day.
Say that again so I could get it.
Okay, Julio Rodriguez is the second fastest player to reach 40 career home runs in Mariners history.
Second fastest to reach 40 career home runs in Mariners history.
Name the guy who reached it in 5 less games.
5 less games. 187 games to 193 for
6
Julio.
Less games.
Whatever. Both of us are geniuses. Okay. That was, and here's something really great. Do you know what the league-wide batting average is, and what's the meaning of it?
Well,
who does it refer to? When you think of this batting average, there's a player who should pop into your head.
I know it, though.
All right, the league-wide batting average is 247. Now, don't say anything. I'm not going
to tell. I'm just going to give him a hint.
Okay, no hints.
This player had a 247 batting average for 4 straight years in a row.
Yeah, 2015, 16, 17, and 18.
So which player had a batting average of 247 from 2015 to 2018, which is what the league-wide batting average is right now?
Yeah, okay, who is it?
I'm not going to tell yet. I'm going to let the chat room.
Okay.
So we have 2 questions out. Daniel guessed. Oh, there's lots of guesses. We love it. Okay, Griffey is being guessed all over the place, and it's not Griffey. You got to think Griffey. A little more recent than Griffey. Jay Buhner. Not it.
Jay Buhner.
So keep guessing with the Mariners, and also guess who had a batting average of 247 for straight 4 years.
Not Edgar Martinez.
Nope.
Got good guesses.
Kyle Seager is a guess. That's not it.
Nope.
McCutchen or Castellanos? No, but those are great guesses, too, for the 247 batting average, right?
247 batting average, and he was a good player. And he hit 247. I'm not talking about in 50. I'm talking about regular season, regular at bats.
Chris Davis.
Who said?
Post did. He's very smart today, Post 1958.
Oh, Post one. Nice going, Post. Chris
A-Rod,
Davis.
King Turd got it. A-Rod.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
You want to
So
talk
got
about Luis Arise? You keep sliding this in. Luis Arise compared to Tony Gwynn.
All right, let's compare them. In 400 and let's say 45 games, okay? Tony Gwynn hit 324. What did Arise hit?
326.
So Luis Arise in 447 career games hit more than Tony Gwynn.
On batting average.
That's crazy.
He has a better on base percentage.
Yeah.
He has a better slugging. He has less 531 hits compared to Gwynn's 551. But
Okay,
they're exactly the same.
They're not exactly the same. Tony Gwynn could steal some bases. That was a big deal. Is Arise stealing any
Yes.
bases? He is?
I think so. Let me check it out.
Tony Gwynn could steal a base. You can't tell me that Tony Gwynn and Luis Arise, because of the numbers, I mean, Gwynn hit some home runs too, but the stolen bases, that was, and Ted Williams had multiple hits in 50 of his 143 games.
He's not stealing any bases. He only he doesn't steal bases. You're right. Tony Gwynn stole bases.
Tony Gwynn stole bases. Now, Ted Williams had multiple hits in 50 of 143 games. In 1941, he had 406. Araz has multiple hits in 28 of his 60 games. So that's pretty amazing.
Have a great day, Bobo.
Who's going? Bobo's going?
Yeah.
Oh, got to run. Nice to see you, Bobo. Great to have you in. Thank you, kiddo.
Hey, Dirty Eck. Nice to see you.
Dirty Eck is here, my boy. The dirtiest of
Now,
all.
A-Rod is the one that got to 40 home runs quicker than Julio Rodriguez as a Mariner.
Right.
And Chris Bryant is the answer to the question with the 247 batting average.
All right, let me ask you this question. Name the team who's got the most comeback wins in Major League Baseball this year.
I'll let Eddie Heckman answer that.
And we're going to let Eddie Heckman answer it. So who's the team who has 20 comeback wins this year in Major League Baseball? Who's the team? It's
Cincinnati has the second most.
Baltimore. Will you please? Nobody would have guessed Cincinnati. Baltimore, the most comeback wins in Major League Baseball this year. The interesting thing, Oakland has 11 comeback wins out of 16 total victories. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
All right. Pasquantino, he landed on the injured list yesterday.
Yes, he did.
I talked about that early in the morning, but he's got right shoulder instability. So his updated diagnosis is vague, but he'll undergo an MRI tomorrow, according to the Kansas City Star, and then we'll have a clearer timeline for his return. You can imagine that Nick Pratto will spend more time at first base. Did you know that Nick Pratto is batting leadoff? I noticed that today.
I didn't see that. I do know that Ryan Mountcastle still has an illness, kept him out Friday, kept him out Saturday. Anybody talk about David Dahl?
They said that there was a chance he could come off the bench.
Yeah,
and
a chance.
He might be back today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to require a injured stint.
What, on Mountcastle? No. He'll be back. David Dahl went unclaimed. Vince Velasquez underwent season-ending surgery.
He was actually having a decent season.
Well, I'm glad, because this way I don't have to pick him, because he's been one of my favorite pitchers who just never panned out.
We loved watching him, didn't we? Interesting
player, Nick Solak,
Yeah.
claimed off waivers by Detroit. He's going to get some playing time.
We'll see if
He is going to get some playing time. There's been a couple of
They
injuries.
optioned him to AAA, so
And
he's
then-
not even on the roster at this
And
moment.
then Akil Baddoo went on the DL.
Yes.
Yes. So you'll see. The fact that Solak keeps losing his roster spot and then finding another roster spot is absolutely a reflection of the fact that he has continued success in the minors. He has struggled in the majors. When he debuted in the big leagues, I think it was 2019, he hit 290. But his...
He was on Bar Rescue. Did you know that?
No, how do I know that?
I watched Bar Rescue.
Okay. Good.
Dylan Carlson was activated yesterday from the injured list.
And wound up hitting a home run.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
I'm very pleased about this. I think Dylan Carlson deserves a chance, even though he sucks.
Well, they got too many of these guys.
This guy has potential, but he has not fulfilled it, okay? So I agree with anybody that's laughing at me right now, thinking that Dylan Carlson deserves a chance, because every time he gets a chance, he stinks. But he did hit a homer yesterday, and I haven't given up hope on this kid.
No continuity, as they still say that Tommy Edman will be in center field. So he looks impressive, but, you got to have, as they say, continuity.
Ready to do the games?
Ready to do the games. Let's go to the games. And we got to thank everybody who's been in the chat room.
Yes.
Big Al, Boston Paul, Chris from Cambridge, Daniel Ferrara, Dirty Eck, Eddie Caprio is here, Eddie Heckman, Caprion is here, Malpal, Merrill, Mitchell, Lookout, Rotorius, Post 1958. You got SM King Turd, Tommy Johnson, Triple Play, Zelmo, and look at a great amount of guests in the chat room.
Okay.